Hey, I'm Katie Miller, a course creation coach and social media strategist navigating business, motherhood, and life while calling BS along the way. If you are tired of the overwhelming amount of information we have access to these days and are confused about where to even begin, you're in the right place. Join me as I talk with small business owners to sort it all out and give some tips to move your business forward. Welcome back to another episode of Katy Calls BS. Last week, we talked about how summer is a great time to create your digital product. So this week, we're going to talk about launching that digital product. And we're going to talk about how the big launch is really a myth and it's BS. And we're going to talk about what really happens when you launch a digital product, because everybody talks about their 5-figure launch like it's a Canva template away. And you should just, instead of watching, I know you've seen it, instead of watching TV tonight, instead of watching Netflix tonight, you should go to Canva and create a digital product and then sell it. Because if I see that one more time, I'm going to lose my mind. Because that's not what digital products and creating aligned digital products is all about, which is what we do at Miller Social. So here's the truth. Most digital products, especially aligned digital products for your business, don't blow up overnight. And that's not a failure. If your first digital product does not blow up or does not bring in your millions, it's not a failure. You know what it is? Normal. I'm going to call BS on the launch fantasies. This idea that your first launch is going to be this 5-figure, 6-figure, $1 million launch. And we're going to talk about what actually happens when you publish and when you launch, because I'm tired of the BS of this idea that you're going to just have this amazing, overwhelming success with your first launch, because a launch takes work. Passive income takes work. You can set all that up, but the thing is, you have to set it all up. So let's talk about this first myth that the big launch is going to happen, because this idea of a big launch is a myth. If your first launch flops, it doesn't mean your idea was bad. It doesn't mean that you were horrible at the digital product thing and you should just scrap the whole thing and give up. It means that you're in business. It means that you just need to change your sales plan, because your digital product was not bad, especially if you did it the right way and worked with me. If you set up your course or digital product the right way, you can always change your sales and marketing. But if you didn't have a successful launch the first time, that's okay. Your first launch is a test. It is not the victory lap, okay? It is not an overnight win. The overnight win was 3 years in the making, okay? The overnight win that people talk about was because of so many other factors. The 7-figure launch usually doesn't even include the people that they paid in the launch. It doesn't include the email specialist and the marketing specialist and all the other people that they paid help them get that launch. They just do the raw number. Okay? You're comparing your day 1 to someone's year 5, which is when we do that. And I know it's so hard not to do, because we get this major imposter syndrome, right? We look at people who are like, oh my gosh, so easy. You should just have this major launch. No. Okay? You don't know how long they've been in business. If your audience is way different, you don't know what their connections are. You don't know who's on their team. You don't know. This used to drive me nuts in social media world too, when people would get they would get so down on themselves because their videos didn't look like somebody else's. And I'm like, do you know how many people are behind their cameras? And we're here in our houses trying to do what they're doing, but we don't have a team of people, and that person does. And that person is over there, that expert, that guru is over there with their whole video team of people telling us to do XYZ. Look for the person, look for the expert, look for the guru, look for the expert, look for the leader who is trying to guide you, who does not have the team, who's actually real, who's doing the work every day, who has been working on, hands-on working on people's accounts, or who is hands-on working on people's businesses and doing the work, not handing it off. It doesn't mean that the people who are handing it off and who have built those businesses aren't successful. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you can't compare that. You need to look at where people are and the life that you want. Okay, that's a side note. Anyways, the real work starts after you launch, okay? Not before. So you need to look at, once you launch, what can you take from that? Okay, so now you've launched your product. It didn't go the way that you wanted. You're like, okay, I was expecting 50 people inside this launch and I got none, or I got one. That's okay. So now here's what we learn. The first sales will tell you a lot of things. The first buyers will show you what's working and what's confusing about your product. Are there messaging gaps? Are there tech issues? Are there missed objections? That's the feedback that you need. The validation comes from those first people within your digital product, not from the reel that went viral, or not because you had like a few things that hit. It's not from that. It's from the people who actually get inside the digital product and use it and give you feedback. You're not entitled to sales just because you created something, even if it's really good. And if you're willing to listen to what your users and your learners say instead of panic, your first few buyers can actually hand you the roadmap for your next version, because you're always going to be adjusting. You're always going to be adjusting your digital product. You're always going to be making it better. And you're going to be adding more. And you're going to be saying, okay, you know what? I learned that this was not great and this could be better. While we think it's amazing, we're the experts. So for us, we're like, this is amazing. But for someone who's actually learning it for the first time, it's a whole fresh perspective than from us who's the expert, right? So if you need to think of it like that. So let's talk about soft launching versus, like we know, soft launching versus the hard launch. So soft launching is much better than waiting for your digital product to be perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. There is also no such thing as passive income in the beginning. You can build to passive income. You have to set that up. That's a process to set that up and get there. You don't need to set up a full funnel for like a $15 offer. That's a lot. You don't need to do like a massive sales page. You don't need to like hire a website designer for your sales page if it's a low cost offer. Like, you don't need to do that. You could probably do it yourself. You don't need like we talked about this a couple episodes ago. You don't need a 20 email sequence for your low cost offer, like a $47 offer, a $97 offer. You don't need a 20 email sequence, okay? Like, it's not complicated. Just post it and talk about it. Sell it in your stories or emails. Stop overcomplicating it. Just post it and get it out there. Like, your sales sequence does not need to be that hard. Offer early access to people. Ask for feedback. Make connections with people. Do not give away something that is super valuable for free. Do not undervalue what you are offering, though. I promise you, you don't need a perfect launch. You need a working offer. Okay? You don't need it to be perfect for the launch part. You need your offer to be good. The content matters. The launch doesn't matter as much. The offer matters, because you can't have a launch without having a good offer, because your offer could be terrible and you have a great launch and now you have a whole bunch of disappointed people. But are you going to be the person who just wants to sell like crappy products to people just to get the money? No, I don't. Your audience size does not matter. Connection matters. You are out here expecting big course energy, like signature course energy, from a baby digital product offer. Okay? We are not doing signature course energy right now. We are doing baby digital product offer. Your $27 offer is not carrying your entire business. Okay? It's your foot in the door. So we need to like bring it back down a little bit and like temper our expectations just a hair. We don't need the millions of followers, the huge audience size right now. We need connections with people, and you have that already. So focus on the people who are already in your world. You have that. Focus on 10 to 20 people who already follow and trust you. You have that. Focus on the connections that you have. Talk to those people. Who do they know? That's what you need to do. You don't need more eyes. You don't need a viral reel. You need a clear message, and you need consistent effort. I mean, this is advice that I have to remind myself of still. I don't need more eyes on my social media. I don't need more eyes on my email list. I just need clear messaging and consistent effort. The people that are selling out digital products have a warmed up audience that you did not see them build. That's the part that you were missing. Because what we see is the sold out products. or we see the results. They just have a warm audience, okay? They have a warm audience that are ready to jump, or they have an audience that is used to their digital product world and they're ready to jump. If you are shifting and adding digital products into your business, that's different for your audience. It might take them a minute, even if it's something that they've been asking for. So it's going to take a little bit, and it's okay. I also need you to stop hiding from the sale. Your audience won't know what you're selling if you only post about it once. They will not know what you are selling if you never talk about it. If you're avoiding selling because it feels gross, I get that, because I felt that once. I still feel that sometimes. You either don't believe in your offer or you don't understand your audience. Because if you are not just talking about it because you don't believe in your offer, I need you to believe 100% in what you're offering. If you don't believe in it, then we need to revisit what your offer is. If you don't understand your audience, then I need you to look at what your audience is and understand who your audience is. You don't need to be pushy ever, because I think that's gross and icky and I don't like it. But you do need to be direct, because sales are going to happen when people understand what you're offering and when you're being you and they understand why it matters to them. They already love you because they are already in your world. So all they need to do is understand why your digital product matters to them. And I need you to talk about it so much. I tell this to my clients all the time. And they are like, do I need to keep talking about it? I'm so sick of talking about it. I feel like I've talked about this digital product, or I've talked about this course so much. Do I really need to keep talking about it? And I tell them every single time, yes, you are going to talk about it until you are so bored of talking about this product. But I can guarantee you that not everybody in your world has heard about it. Repeat yourself, clarify what you're talking about, show up more than once, show up in different ways on your stories, on your feed, in your email list, talk about it in person, talk about it until you're so tired of talking about it multiple times a day in multiple places, because nobody cares about your digital product if you haven't told them why they should. And nobody's going to care about it as much as you care about it. You have to tell them why they should care about it, because this is your business is your baby. Nobody's going to care about it as much as you do, right? And if you talk about it once on a Monday, not everybody's watching your stories on Monday. So you've got to talk about it on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, the whole week. Somebody may have been on vacation that whole week. Then you're going to have to put it in your feed. And you don't have to be pushy and weird about it and be like, buy my thing. Yeah, I need you to buy my digital product. You don't need to do it that way. But there's ways to share what it is and how you're helping and what the transformation is without being pushy in your way, however you feel comfortable doing that. And I don't know what that is for you. I can't say what the way is for you. I had to find what it was for me, where it wasn't like, buy this, I'm selling this, buy it. But it was like, here's what I'm offering this week. Here's what we're doing. This is how this is going to help you. So you have to figure out what that is, but nobody's going to care about it. And they're not going to hear or see everything that you're posting. And they may not be on your email list. The one thing that was the hardest thing for me to learn in sales, because I thought it was icky for the longest time, sometimes I still do, is when people are so in your face about it. So don't be in their face about it. Don't say, buy this. Don't say now. I need you to do it now. Because sometimes I'm the person who's direct and I'm like, can we just do it? Why haven't you bought it yet? Come on, it's so good. That's me. And then I'm like, I'm so sick of talking about it. But you have to keep talking about it. So here's what I need you to do. I need you to stop waiting for perfection. And I need you to start being okay with launching messy. And that's really hard for a lot of people. Launch messy, but be clear about it. You're going to be like, what? You may have made a face right there, which is fair. Because if you launch messy but clear, how do you launch messy but clear? It's my favorite way to be. Because when I need you to stop overthinking about it. There are the people who are on this path of launching or creating something where they need to have everything done and all ducks in a row. And those are the people who are going to have their digital products or their courses on a Google Doc for years and never going to create it, or they're going to come to me to do it. And then there are the people who are going to throw something out there and wonder why no sales happened, because their digital product was a hot mess. And then there are everybody else in the middle who's going to do some variation of messy, a little bit clear, not so clear, somewhere in the middle. But I need you to do it messy but clear. You don't need a funnel, you don't need a plan, you don't need a huge audience, okay? You just need to talk to the people who are already watching you. You don't need to have a viral moment, you don't need a viral reel, you don't need massive things happening, you don't need a huge email list, you just need momentum. Your first launch is not supposed to be your biggest launch. I will say that over and over again. It'll be the hill that I die on. It is supposed to be your smartest one. It is supposed to be the launch that you learn the most from. So it is okay if that launch is small. I need you to listen. I need you to adjust, and I need you to keep going, because that's where you're going to learn the most, is that first launch. And when you learn from that first launch, the second one is where you're going to come back, and that's where you're going to have more momentum. And then it's going to keep building each one after that. And eventually you'll be able to set your digital product or your course on a passive path, but you're always going to have to talk about that product. It's never going to be fully passive. So hope that fixed some of our launch issues that we have. I'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Katy Calls BS. You can find more information about our guest and Katy in the show notes below. Be sure to subscribe, share, and review, and don't forget to tag us.